Yeah, as you can see from the sidebar that I posted there, the first clip, it's pretty much stuff I've pointed out before. The type of semiotic crap they come out with, and all the mind games around it, and all the everything else that goes into it. Like with yet more of that a similar type of 1950s type advertising campaign that's really dated and anachronistic and archaic. But anyway, yesterday, for the majority of the day, I kept on top of the ad campaign. It wasn't that difficult, but that seemed to egg them on even further, and so they sort of carried on with the ad campaign yesterday, the 1950s commercial TV and commercial radio, and started doping me up to get me susceptible to that type of stuff. Well, I've already said I've moved on from the 25 amalgam years, and yet they seem wedded to all that, to the point where they're trying to suggest stuff, is it, or they're stuck in it? I don't know. But to me, it's like, I'm done with that. It's boring now, even though I can still make reference to it, especially when I'm coming off the back of juggins. But anyway, was on top of the majority of the ad campaign throughout the day. And then I think it was evening time. Then they started doping me up to be susceptible to it again, or to a certain degree. And for example, we got this bird crossing the road right in front of the flat, as you'd expect. Like I said about the disabled guy shaking his head off at the coffee shop while I was having a cup of coffee and filming a video. That sort of, people, crazies who must be noticed sort of thing. Anyway, just looked at it, and then this morning it struck me, hang on a sec. Had I not been doped up, I'd have had my usual approach to that. And that is that it's like if you're sexually attracted to someone, you might whack off. And if you do, you don't write fucking love letters to them, do you? you just crack one off, and you just get on with your day. Or if you've got a porno mag, you just you'll see one you like, and then the next time you'll just turn the page and turn another one. And it's just like I said this morning, turn the page, and I laugh my head off, because that's how it is, isn't it? But to these people, I don't know. I have to wonder whether people who train in psychiatry and psychology, if they do use pornographic materials, or if they do have sexual attraction to people who they wouldn't get in a relationship with, they get all... I don't know, I've mentioned this before, haven't I? It sort of gets me thinking about the likes of Mr. Boyhood, who became Mr. Babby Ass, and then became Mr. Dynamic, telling me in town how to sit in 2000. As if he was the yardstick for masculinity and that sort of thing. We've had examples of that again today. But that's how, baked in to the system, those 4 years can be with some people. I know it's crazy shit. I know when I was coming off that ward, as I predicted, how crazy it actually was. Like the stuff in the car park, similar stuff in the sidebar, isn't it? In some ways. But like I've said, I've sort of covered that in the flat, that type of stunt. That type of semiotic type stuff, the type of druggings that go on to try and make that type of stuff, get you to take that type of stuff seriously or see it as relevant when it's not relevant, sort of thing. But yeah, it's just like, you get on with your day. That they dope me up to try and get me susceptible to their advertising. Like, and it is when some bird is just like, you look at it and you think, well, turn the page, isn't it? It's just like, it's that simple. And I don't know whether I'm supposed to go, well, I've mentioned stuff like this before, going on having a frustrated wank. Was that what they were aiming for in 2000? I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me because of Johnny and Baby. Incidentally, I did look up when the period that Dirty Dancing was set in, and apparently it was 1963. I'm not taking that too seriously. Could have been any time from the late 50s to the early 60s, I'd guess. But again, it's sort of, you see what I mean? It's sort of yet another indication of the mindset belonging more to the 1950s than any other thing. And that's sort of what you see in the advertising, in pretty much all the advertising. There is this middle class depiction of so many middle class 60s, 50s depiction of things, of so many things. So yeah, but it literally is. If I hadn't been doped up, I was susceptible to a certain degree, not totally, but to a certain degree. It wasn't, it was a certain amount of druggings to try and get me susceptible to amalgam type shit that I really have moved on from in so many ways. But yeah, it's just like someone crossed the road and you just, if I hadn't been doped up, I was just thinking, well, turn the page. It's that simple. But yeah, mind you, I used to be able to do that when I was doped up. Possibly that's the meds. That's the psychiatric meds. That's all I can put it down to. But yeah. But yeah, it's to me, it's pretty remarkable how they, how the ad men and ad women do keep coming out. I've kept coming out with the same type of stuff time and again. And how easy it is to get on top of the ad campaign. When you do, like they did a few days ago with the Magic Keyboard, they tried to double down on it. Like, countless examples on the board, Wayne Good, come around my house, and so on and so forth. Like I keep mentioning, it is important to know that stuff. Just like it's important to point out during the Bank Holiday Massacre that was attempted, the guy shouting his head off outside the coffee shop because he wanted to be noticed. But yeah, I don't bloody know. So yeah. Don't know whether they got their ass in their hand. That sort of means, don't know whether they're disgruntled, the ad men and women. Don't know. To me, it's just like you get on with it, don't you? You don't really want some not doped up to be susceptible to adverts like that. You do compartmentalise it and just get on with your day. But yeah, it's like, I was right about, right that this type of stuff would have taken place if I'd have gone on another board. These ad men and women are, and I've got a lot of people, well, the architects did, got a lot of people engrossed in all this. But, the trick is, like I've said, get a life. They can, I've got, my feet started swelling again for no reason, apart from the ad men and women. Maybe to stop me going into town because the public fucking has failed yet again, and all they can think of is, well, more public fucking. My approach would be, you just acknowledge that that ain't really worked, and it's just a series of 1950s adverts. So yeah, they could have their ass in their hand, I don't know, but the trick is for them and people who keep performing adverts there and so on, just get a life and get on with it. If people's lives are gonna mean anything, surely you don't have to do what Wayne Good had, and that was this desperate need to have external sources of validation. You know, you enjoy stuff. That's what I'd say. But yeah, as with the campaign yesterday, that may not be allowed to happen with me. You know, I would just naturally get on with stuff. You know, it makes no sense, like I said, to have anyone come into this flat, maybe forever, for the rest of my life, just in case, you know, they start coming out with all the ad stuff, because it's just like, fucking get out my fucking flat. You know, but you can't do that. You know, they will have been given power, anyone who came here, to say, I'm not going anywhere, or whatever they wanted to say. You know, the best thing is, I dare if I'll see anyone, and even if I ask them, fancy going for a coffee, they'll be put up to saying, nah, and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm not particularly that interested at this stage, at least. But yeah, just nice to go. Would be nice. Next time, I was going to go this morning, but like I said, I think the reason they might have started bloating my feet and lower legs again, because it wouldn't be happening otherwise, is to stop me going into town, because you know, because they just can't manage it or something. I don't know, but the type of stuff they're pulling would suggest that they really are engrossed with amalgam type shit. Don't know. Well, with that bird crossing the road, but it's like I said, you don't get engrossed in stuff like that. It's just all right. You know, when you find someone quite attractive, at most you'll back off about them, or try to get in a relationship with them or something. I wouldn't personally, that last bit, but you just back off and just back off a bit. You just turn the page. That's the way it is. But because that, you know, because maybe that's not strictly it doesn't fit in with a 1950s type narrative. That gets promoted so heavily round here by people, many of whom have been, if not all, have been busted into town. You know, you just have to acknowledge that. Well, that's the way it is. Positive point though, building on yesterday, that yeah, at times I've felt a lot more at home again, just settled, just chilling. But again, the druggings are carrying on again. So whatever they're doing with that, they're doing with that. You know, and but it doesn't seem that much is going on. Trouble is me saying that, but whatever. So who knows? I don't know what's going on with them. I'm not, you know, whatever's going on with them is going on with them. But yeah, so another day of them pulling all manner of stunts. Basically, you know, you just get on with it, don't you? It's like with, essentially, it's just like one big, you know, visit from Wayne Good to my house, telling me his missus is all right now, and all the rest of them. Didn't mean saying how's your mum. That's about it. But yeah, would be nice to go out for a coffee, actually. I haven't done enough exercise, my feet are bloated. I'm guessing, like I said, that's to stop me going out. Don't know if that's an attempt for them to say, look how incapacitated you are. And I'll say, well, hang on a sec, didn't you? And they'll say, no. I'll say, I'm all. And stuff like that. Tell the cows, come on. So anyway, yeah, I'll do one of these later. I've got some kit coming. But yeah, the admin and women have started pissing about with my equipment, as goes with the territory, I suppose. Par for the course. But anyway, regardless of that, I'll keep trying with it. It's something to do. It's something I enjoy doing. You know, if I'm not supposed to enjoy anything, I don't bloody know. With this Middle Ages, puritanical, prudish 1950s style commercial TV and radio. I don't know. But yeah. Good that, getting on top of the advertising. Pretty good for you. Yeah. And so yeah, I've got a couple of things coming today. A couple of gizmos that will enable me to do a walk around video around here. Might as well start walking around the flat because, like I said, with my bloated feet and lower legs that they've engineered again, I can't really go out. So, which I suppose yet again makes great Hollywood and great 1950s commercial TV and radio. Unfortunately, being able to say, well, if you say that about people who shake their heads off outside coffee shops, I've got to wonder, well, anyway, that's that for now. I'll just try and get on with my day.